Well, what I always thought, and I didn't know if it was possible, but now I believe it can be possible, was like I wanted to be as visually prepared as Hitchcock, but give my actors the freedom that Cassavetes gave them. And I don't know, I think I achieved that, but it was something I always thought, I always thought it could be possible. I just think if you can capture what the actors are doing within the frame that you want to create, I think ultimately you make your movie. But I just wanted to give the actors the freedom and to make them comfortable so that they would feel free just to do what they felt and not sort of what I call cue acting is, you know, when I hit this mark, I give you this look. I tried to create an atmosphere where we didn't have that. An atmosphere where actors are completely comfortable to do whatever comes out.
It was very challenging. It's one of the hardest roles I've done. It's risky, as the story is, to play a character that can be so pliable. He's a lot of different things.
And action!
DJ was really very generous and kind to me because he trusted my instincts about certain aspects of the character that I felt were based on the story, but they're not really written out, and some of them were large aspects to the story.
I don't know that this even is the story.
I realized that Val has to become the character. He's consumed by it, and it haunts him, and the character haunts him. In order to become Danny Parker, Val would go out at night and sort of do research, and I provided a lot of research opportunities for him. We had police informants who were crystal meth users that Val rode around with the cops and went with them. And in providing this research, I mean, it was just an outlet for him to keep becoming this character.
My name's Danny Parker.
Colette Vaughn, thank you. Right, Danny, okay.
Pooh Bear is a character who is a drug dealer, and not only is he crooked, but he's done so much crank, crystal meth, that he no longer has a nose, so he has a prosthetic nose.
This is our crooked nose look.
Vincent embraced this character in such a way that the first thing he told me was, I'm going to gain 45 pounds because I think this guy is a fat slob. I said, okay, that sounds interesting, let's talk about it. And he talked about, I'm going to give him a tan that is such a bad tan that it's going to be a bad version of a farmer tan because he always wears these sort of like skateboardy shirts that he really shouldn't be wearing, and his hair is dyed. He had such an amazing take on this character right away that Vincent went away for 3 months, and when he came back, you know, I was standing right next to him and I had no idea it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Get ready, gentlemen! I approach it like I do any other character. I try to not make typical choices, but make choices at the same time that make sense and that don't ruin the structure of the film and that help to move the story along, but at the same time keep me from falling asleep while the camera's rolling and hopefully entertain people. And I think at the least Pooh Bear will be entertaining, I think.
Oh, he's a good-looking young man. Oh, shit.
The character's voice is very kind of nasally, and where he would breathe in and out from are kind of closed up, so I only breathe in and out of my mouth for the character.
I'm telling you, it's good.
Yeah, well, the nose squeak, yeah, it's sort of a Pooh Bear signature, the nose squeak. And he actually, you know, the more that we talked about it and researched it, and you think, well, how do you research someone who doesn't have a nose? You actually can now on the internet. We went into some medical journals and found that people have lost their nose either in the war or to cancer and certain things, and how their speech patterns are affected in talking. And so Vincent sort of extrapolated off of that and came up with this like nose squeak. We've used the squeak in very interesting ways. They always come at very dramatic moments.
10,000 a pound. Yeah. Looks like we got a deal.
B-Mark. Say what? Yes. Action, please.
Hey, why do they call you Jimmy the Finn anyway?
It's my features.
What?
It's like my features, you know, they're Finnish.
Jimmy the Finn, Peter Sarsgaard's character, he's based on a character I met in the research that we did. And we did some tailoring of the script. There was a meth user that we met in rehab up in Riverside who basically just wanted to be liked. The only reason he got involved in drug use was because he had a terrible family life, and the only family that he had was this little band of tweakers that hung out together. And we sort of embraced his story, and we kind of applied that to Jimmy's backstory.
Well, I did a lot of research for the role, and went to Crystal Meth Anonymous meetings and met with kids in juvenile hall in Riverside to make it credible. At the same time, the film has some license in terms of realism. This is not kitchen sink realism in terms of the drug. This is not about a drug. This is about a man.
I really need your help.
So as much research as I did, that's all just sort of like part of the mix. And I think what DJ's after is kind of more interesting.
All right, what the fuck was that?
DJ's extraordinarily structured in his form. He is, however, very organic with the content. And what's exciting for all of us is that there is a lot of room to play.
He keeps us on our toes because a lot of times he'll come to the set with a particular scene and we'll have like 4 different revisions of that one scene. And sometimes we'll shoot them all.
And action!
So you got this straight?
Yeah, just, one more time.
Okay. Harlandale Monty, a.k.a. Pooh Bear.
You know what you remind me of? Clint Eastwood, you got a Clint vibe.
Yeah, right. Just pay attention. Okay, the guy's name is Harlandale Monty.
Focus. Get clear. Cut the shit.
Well, you want to hear this?
Yeah.
The guy's name is Harlandale Monty, a.k.a.
John, can I just make this...
What?
What the fuck are you doing?
With Val, it's a lot of off-the-page improv, so you really have to be listening with him. But when it works, it's really exciting because it's fresh and it's new moments, in each scene.
Action, Ed.
Okay.
For me, improv is vital and it's important, particularly in situations like this, but it also can be dangerous as far as straying too far away from the text or too far away. We have a really intricate story, and there was a lot of scenes that were improv that we picked moments or lines or a reaction.
We can go places with the scene as long as we do not lose the structure of the scene in the context that it would lose the overall structure of the story, because the film still has to work as a story. And he lets us have a lot of freedom, yeah. I think that smart directors do that kind of thing. This is a project that has a little space and the kind of tone to kind of ad-lib and to make it look real, or to go really extreme just to see if it works.
See, the whole time I was joshing you.
Want to stay for lunch?
I got your ass. I'm a dog. Look at it. I'm a fucking dog. Shit. Cut. That's fantastic. Cut. Good. How was that?
The success of the movie is dependent on the kind of quality that TJ was wanting that really makes it rich. And there are great performances in that, because you're free to let come out whatever happens. So we have a lot of different moments than were written, but it's the same spirit that the writer inspired.
Shooting now. Shooting now, Tony. Yes.
All of us, I believe, have embraced the opportunity to improvise when it's been appropriate or when it's been helpful. We've embraced the chaos because imbalance is central to this world. And a lack of certainty is intrinsic to the activities of most of the characters. And it's also just fun.